I walk into school wearing the new backpack, and I feel like everyone is staring at me, but it's probably all in my head. Trader grilled me about it when I got home yesterday. I told him my old one completely gave out X, so the school found one in the lost and found. He seemed to buy it. It's not like he's too eager to get me a new one himself. Brandon isn't at his locker again this morning. I tell myself not to freak out, but this is what happens whenever I let someone in. They disappear. I shut my locker, trying to ignore the bell of worry nodding inside itself in my gut. Nate! I startle at the sound of my name, cursing the meds for making me jumpy. Brandon walks down the hall, waving something. Then unwinds inside of me. It takes all of my willpower not to sigh of relief. It's okay. A grin spreads across my face. Brandon shifts his pace to a fast walk and catches up with me. Check it out, he says, brandishing a small rectangle piece of paper. My parents finally caved. I got my license. He smiles so wide I can count all 32 teeth. My brother took me yesterday, and we drove around all day. That's awesome, I say. His enthusiasm is like a virus, spreading in me whether I like it or not. Isn't it? I turned 16 months ago. Think of all that sweet freedom. He looks at the card, still beaming. We have to celebrate. Let's go cruising this afternoon. Cruising? Driving around because we can. How about it? I want to say no. I'm afraid of how glad I am to see him. I should end this right now, but Brandon's excitement is contagious. I don't know which would be worse, being a loner everyone is afraid of, or letting someone know the real me, well, the version I'm pretending to be. Sure, I hear myself say, we'll go cruising. Awesome, he says. So, who all is going? I say, suddenly terrified of what I just agreed to do. He claps me on the back. Not sure yet. You're the first person I asked. It'll be fun, though. He beams. The bell rings, and he turns towards his homeroom, waving his license like a flag. Hey, Fitch, check it out. I can drive. Rainy, look, freedom. Why does he hang with me again? He has all of these other friends. The whole school seems to love him. He weaves through the crowd, handing out high fives the way the sky and birds distributed flyers. I'm not ready for this. I barely got through an afternoon with just us. No way in hell am I going to make it in the car full of guys. I'm not a cannonball kind of person. Back on the run with Mom, I always eased into motel pools, letting my body adjust a little at a time. This feels too much like jumping in. I watch Brandon before heading to my own class. His joy infects the whole school. Everyone who passes him ends up with a smile on their face. I want that. I want to be able to cannonball like Brandon. It smacks me like a leather belt. I don't want people to fear me. I want them to smile when they see me, but I don't know how to get there. It's like everyone else is standing on some tall-ass platform, and I'm at the bottom with no way up. Especially not with his shadow holding me down. It trails behind me, a dark stain of hatred and fear and paranoia that I can't shake loose. Everyone disappears into their classrooms, leaving me in a cold hallway. Just me and my shadow. Brandon is at the lockers when I get there after the last bell. He grins and jangles his keys. Trader's giant ring key flashes in my mind. If I could convince him to let me get my license and drive, I could get my hands on those keys, and I'll at least look through them. That's about as likely as the sky turning green and raining candy, though. Who else is coming? I asked, impressed that my voice doesn't betray my nerves. It's probably the Mets. Just us. Fletcher has to run some errands for his mom, and Rainey is going down to Florence for new basketball shoes. Relief washes over me. This is easier. The river was putting a foot in. Today, I'm moving a step deeper. We head through a door I've never used and angle towards the student parking lot, matching strides. I wonder what he would do if he saw me right now. What would I do? The thought throws me out of step with Brandon. Would I react on instinct if he told me to hurt Brandon once we were alone on some back road? Or could I fight it? Or could I, or could I fight it? I'd like to think I could. I hope so. I haven't thought about hurting Brandon since I met him. I feel like I'm in control for the first time, but the beast has a way of taking over sometimes. In my head, I repeat Miss Erica's words to me before I leave the sex center. I'm in control. As long as I take my meds, and I've taken them every day since the flashback. I think of those signs at the construction sites. No racism-related accidents in in 611 days. I can't ignore his shadow. I can do this. I follow Brandon through the student lot. It's mostly full of white people. Do they only integrate during the school hours? Is hanging out with a black person after school weird? Is that not okay? Several folks lean against their cars talking. Water fountain girl sits on a tailgate between the legs of the big dude she whispers to on my second day. She shoots me a glare that could make stone explode. Because of her running or because I'm with Brandon? Brandon unlocks the doors to an old green Camry and throws his bag on the backseat. How dare you! Someone shrieks. Guilty heat blasts my cheeks, reminding me of the first time I got caught stealing from homegrown books back in Farmer. I feel like all my evil thoughts are tattooed on my forehead. My head jerks towards the yell. Nose Girl stands by a beaten-up Camaro a row over. A guy grabs her wrists. Nose Girl shoves the guy. I slump against Brandon's Camry. It's not about me. No one seems to care who I'm with. They would if they were in my head. I'm certain of it. Let go of me, Nose Girl shrieks. Baby, the guy pleads. Seriously, did you seriously call me that? She gets in his face and jabs her finger in his chest. Go use your pet names somewhere else. The guy dips his head. But Maddie, I'm sorry, Alyssa was a mistake. It meant nothing. That's what you said the first time, she yells. Brandon shoots me a look over the roof of his car. This is about to get good, he nods at the sidewalk behind us. A girl I recognize from my history class grins wickedly. Pretty much everyone in the parking lot is staring at Nose Girl and the guy. My muscles tense instinctively, like a dog getting ready for a fight. Last time I saw this many people silently focused on an argument, I shiver and turn back to the girl from history. She's smearing some kind of shiny pink guck on her lips. I slipped up, the guy says. It won't happen again. Nose Girl flaps her hands like a mouth. Blah, blah, blah. I'm so over this. I can't even look at you. I'm changing my schedule tomorrow, and this time I'm going through with it. The douchebags must have cheated on her before, and she got stuck taking all her classes with him. That's why she was upset the first day. I just made things worse. History chick drops her books on the car trunk beside me and strolls across the parking lot. The guy opens his mouth to say something else to Nose Girl, but history class chick reaches him before a word comes out. She slips an arm around his waist. Finally, she says, enough for everyone to hear. I don't have to share you anymore. Ah! Nose Girl lunges forward and swings at the guy. He scrambles away, and she falls into History Chick, who pushes Nose Girl back against the car. That sets her off. The girls are a mess of tangled arms and flying hair. I've never seen such a thing in my life. At the fort, girls fought no different from guys. We all learned how to throw a solid punch before most kids could string a sentence together. Everyone gapes at the scratching girls. Water Fountain tears herself out from the big dude's thighs and rushes to Nose Girl. A couple people do the same. They try to pull the girls apart, but it's like separating two pit bulls. The guy but vanishes. He's exactly the kind of asshole the fort recruits. Brandon starts for the girls, but the big dude and another couple mini giants reach the front first. Brandon shrugs and comes back to the car. Phew, he says. I wanted to get in the middle. I wanted to get in the middle of that, like I wanted to run suicides after practice. They managed to separate the girls and take them to opposite ends of the park. Looks like the show's over, Brandon says. I hope Maddie's okay. Her nose was just starting to heal. She'll be pissed if Alyssa messes it up again. Guilty heat flames up my cheeks. I thought everyone got along here. I thought everyone got along here. He laughs. Oh, there's drama. You just have to wait for it to bubble to the surface. We slide into the car and back out of the lot. Seems I was wrong about this place. They don't all like each other. They've just been good at hiding their problems until now. What was that? What was that? Brandon throws an elbow out the open window and settles into his seat. Everyone knows Alyssa and Chris have been bumping ugly since last spring. Everyone but Maddie. They had a big fight at Fletcher's field party right before school started and called things off for the millionth time. But Maddie always goes back. Maddie, maybe she'll finally move on to someone who deserves her now. I raise an eyebrow. It seems to me like she and the douchebag were made for each other. Brandon glances over and catches my look. You've only seen her bad side. She's really thoughtful and sweet when you get to know her. Like last year, she made study packs for everyone in her chem class before finals because she knew they were all stressed out. Chris kind of smothers that side of her, though. Holy crap, you like her. He shrugs, not taking his eyes off the road. I try to imagine her without the grimace, talking rather than yelling, but all I see is her twisted, angry face. Is that what people see when they look at me? Maybe everyone has a hidden dark side, waiting for the right person to bring it out. He brought out mine. Douchebag brings out Maddie's. I never thought to look for the brightness in her. I realized with a start that Fort didn't just teach me to make snap judgments of minorities, but of everyone. Although I guess the folks in Lewiston aren't much better. Like Skunky, they all made up their minds about me before I even got to home. Is that what people do? Judge others because of how we see them without even trying to get to know them? Maybe there are other people like Brandon too. People with X-ray eyes that see below the surface. To a real person beneath the layers of darkness. A smile tugs at Brandon's lips. Of all chicks in this school, she's the last one I imagined someone like him would have a crush on. There's still so much I don't know about him. So much I don't know about all these people. Apparently, everyone has secrets, and secrets have a way of coming out. What's going to happen if someone finds out my secrets? What about you? He asks. Any girls you date? Any girls on your radar? Only one, but she's a million miles away. I shake my head, but I wait a beat too long, and Brandon catches it. Yeah, there is. Who? My instinct is to clam up, but something tugs at me. This could be my chance. Get out some snippets of truth to see how it goes. There's this girl back home. There was, anyways. Brandon nods stonily. I had to leave her behind. My blood runs cold. That's exactly what I did. I left her. An image of Kelsey's swelling eyes and bloody nose pops into my head so suddenly tears spring to my eyes. I blink them away before Brandon notices. Something like that, I say. Wish I could say you'll find someone here to help you move on, but the pool is pretty small. I shrug. I'm not lucky anyways. Brandon turns onto a road that's more gravel than asphalt. The tiny rocks rattle in the wheel wells. Sounds like the chick was serious. What's she like? I close my eyes and see Kelsey's long hair pooling under her head and on the forest floor. Her deep brown eyes drinking in every word of our stolen history books. Beautiful is the first word that comes to mind. Strong, I say instead. She had more strength than anyone I've ever met. Even though Kelsey gave up our secret, even with her mistakes, the fact that she held on for so long, for as long as she did, it took them hours to break her, show that she had serious guts. shows that she had serious guts. Like this one time, she found a kitten, but the thing was covered in mange. Her parents told her to get rid of it. I don't tell Brandy that they wanted Kelsey to kill it, the first innocent blood they wanted her to spill. Of course she didn't. She hid it in the crow's basement under her house, which she was terrified of because we were like 10 and there were spiders down there. But every day before and after school, she'd army crawl under there to feed and pet it. It was a pitiful thing, with the scabby spots where fur should be. Kelsey didn't care. She used to bring it to the woods with her, bundled in her coat, and its tiny gray head poking through a gap in the buttons. She loved that damn cat, right up until the day her mom found it. Kelsey cried for a month after, but not in front of me. At home, she'd raise her chin, but only in front of me. At home, she'd raise her chin and defiantly look at her parents dead in the eyes as they whipped her for disobeying them. And she loved pictures of horses. Brandon raised his eyebrow. Pictures? Yeah, she thought they were gorgeous creatures, but she hated to see them in real life, trapped behind fences. She always said that they were meant to run free, so that's how she liked to see them. In pictures with the wind in the rains, being wild. But what's her name? I pause. Her name might jar a memory on my child loose, but not telling him would be weird. Kelsey. The name feels funny in my mouth. It's been so long since I've said it out loud. Sorry I had to move on, man, Brandon says. She sounds pretty awesome. She was my best friend. I miss her more than I miss my mother. It's a tiny fraction of a fact, but it's the most honest thing I could tell him. I could ever tell him. We turn onto an abandoned country road and Brandon opens the sunroof. The wind is hot but not uncomfortable. Kind of refreshing. Freeing. Or maybe it's telling a truth that's freeing. You know, I think I have a place like your river, I say. Yeah? Yeah, the woods. That's my place. Brandon glances at me. See, I told you Lewiston isn't all bad. We had to stray away. Straight away? I don't know. Now, how fast do you think this old bag will go? He ramps down on the accelerator. I let my arm hang out of the window and watch the pavement. We move so fast the asphalt is a blur. I can't make out any distinct shapes, not even a shadow.